In case some of you didn't know, I'm actually a massive fan of video games. Doesn't show, right? But I am actually looking forward to quite a few games that are coming out in 2014. I thought I'd compile a list of, well, there aren't exactly 10 like I did with the best of 2013, so I'm just going to do top 5, ones that I'm actually looking forward to coming out this year, like 2014. But there are a few new next-gen titles and things that look really interesting I want to keep my eye on. So, at number 5... Watch Dogs. Well, I know a lot of you know that I'm not a massive open world game fan, but games like Saints Row have done the whole open world game type of thing really well. So I'll be interested to see if Watch Dogs does the same. The idea of having futuristic weapons and hacking and, this idea that you're in control of the game makes the game seem quite enticing to someone like me. I'm not really the fan of a game that's just so open that there's so many choices that it sort of just leaves you thinking, well, which one do I do? And there's no real story in the game. And I like games which are linear but have, some sort of openness within the linearity of the game. I don't like games which are just like, oh, here we created this online open world, why don't you just sort of do what you want? And they just sort of just go off and just watch you play. They don't exactly tell you what to do, and I hope this game doesn't fall into that category. From what I've seen, it looks like it is going to be a story-based driven game, kind of like Sleeping Dogs and Saints Row, which is good, because if it's following in that category, then I hope that it will be a really good title. The online... with the online in Saints Row and GTA, will this game have online? It's not entirely known if it will, but it would be kind of cool if it did have something like that. Again, this is going to be a Ubisoft title. Ubisoft are not exactly 100% reliable for online, but if this game has some interesting online features, then it could go well in that sense at least. Number 4 is Mario Kart 8. I know a lot of people know that I like Mario games, and Mario Kart's no exception. I like Mario Kart on the Wii, I like Mario Kart on the 3DS, I like Mario Kart on the DS, I like Mario Kart all round. But this game is on the Wii U, so anyone expecting any major changes? Well, unfortunately, there aren't a hell of a lot of major changes happening, but the idea of being able to play around with anti-gravity and flying on ceilings and walls, and, it's a cool concept to play with, and I don't think it's going to be quite as revolutionary as the idea of using parachutes and scuba diving underwater was in Mario Kart 7, but I think it's going to play a major part in Mario Kart 8, hopefully at least, from what I've seen gameplay-wise. It looks really nice, it looks quite stunning as well. For a Wii U game, it's definitely an HD 1080p looking game. I mean, it's definitely one of those games, if you want to show someone what the Wii U's capable of graphics wise, you go, here's Mario Kart 8, or here's Super Mario 3D World. These games, they just look stunning on the Wii U. I mean, graphics wise, I know it's obviously not quite PC or, HD console type stuff, but it's for a cartoony game, it looks pretty darn good. The quality is sharp, the gameplay looks solid, and all round it just looks like it's going to be a fun, chaotic Mario game. The ability to play with the gamepad may add a fifth player, perhaps. Maybe we can have someone on the gamepad placing items for players and, making things a little bit more hectic. I don't know. It looks like things like coins and, the parachuting and scuba diving from Mario Kart 7. It's going to be very much like Mario Kart 7 in terms of what they did, but they're going to, tweak things and add them, and obviously the idea of having a gamepad is going to make things slightly more different, and hopefully it'll be a really revolutionary Mario game. Next up is a game called Thief, which until in the last couple of weeks, literally, I didn't actually know a hell of a lot about this game. I'd seen, I think, snippets of this game, demos and stuff, and it's coming out on PS4, and Xbox One, I believe, but it's also coming to high-end PCs as well on February 25th this year. It's actually relatively early on in the year, but it very much looks like a good game. It looks very much like a mix between the sort of combat-y, stealthy Assassin's Creed meets Dishonored-y kind of looking game. It looks very much like that. From what I've seen, the game looks absolutely superb. The visuals stunning, gameplay looks pretty intense. I like stealthy games as opposed to let's run in charging, type of games. I find, stealth is a lot more strategic, it's a lot more clever, and it's not just a case of I've got a bigger, better gun, I can go in guns blazing. It's not like that, and I hope this game is definitely, a case of strategically avoiding enemies and taking them out one by one. I like games games that do that. Unfortunately, games like Assassin's Creed don't really do that incredibly well, because there are some missions where they're like, well, you've got to take out all the enemies one by one in this mission, but in other missions you can go in, stabbing them, guns blazing. I don't entirely understand why that is. I find it very irritating that they sort of force you to do stealth in some missions where it's really hard to, and then in others when it's, easier to stealth, they go, oh, why don't you just go in guns blazing? It's a very mixed idea, and I hope this game, pulls it off in a really exciting way. It's going to have lots of interesting tactics. It's going to be about stealing paintings and gems and prized possessions of people. And I think, hopefully, it will work as good as it's going to look. I mean, for a next-gen game, I know that means a lot of people won't be able to pick this game up because it's going to be a PS4, Xbox One thing. But, having it on PC as well will probably hopefully open up the game. It's quite expensive. I mean, it's about £30 PC. And it's probably going to be even more on PS4 and Xbox One. But there we go, Thief. Looking forward to that one at number 3. Number 2, Dying Light. Now, this is a really interesting concept of parkour meets open world zombie game. Like I said, I'm not massively into open world games, but when they're done well, they can really be impressive. And this game looks like it's going to be like that. It's going to be, an open world, do missions, find objectives, kind of like you do in Far Cry. I'm thinking of very much like a Far Cry 3 meets, a little bit like Dead Island, hopefully a lot more successful than Dead Island in terms of that, but it's a very much parkour-y, mirror-edgy sort of looking game in that sense as well. You've got, climbing on buildings, doing awesome jumps, lots of skill tricks and things like that, but it's very much going to be, you're sort of isolated and you're on your own, and when games do that, they can do it really well, and the idea that you're on your own and you've sort of just got to fend for yourself can really make games, more interesting in that sense as well. I don't know how the weapon side of the game will work, whether it will have some sort of upgrading idea as well. Some games have things like that, where you have weapons and then you get parts and stuff to stick onto the weapons. I don't entirely know if that's how it's going to work, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. This one's got an early 2014 release as well. I think it's coming out on Xbox One and Xbox 360 in February. I'm not sure about PC and whether it will even come out on PlayStation 3 and 4, but I'm really, really interested to see how it plays out. It looks stunning visually as well. I don't even think it's a AAA game either, so it's kind of an indie title as well. And it sort of adds this sort of idea that you're on your own and you've just got to fend for yourself. And I really like games that do this, and it sort of emphasises this. So I'm really looking forward to this, but what made number 1? If anyone watching this knows me as well as you should do, you'll probably already know what number 1 is. But it's the upcoming Smash Bros. Game. Seriously, I'm super excited for this game. It has been given a 2014 release date officially, since it was released back in 2011, which was quite a long time ago when the 3DS first came out. Now the Wii U's been out for a year and a half, and we still don't have an official release date. Yay, but seriously, they've kept us waiting, and hopefully it will all pay off, because if they've released the game too early, there could be bugs, there could be glitches, there could be flaws in it, and hopefully all that stuff is going to be all fixed up and it's going to be looking nice. 3DS and Wii U versions obviously have their own different art styles. The 3DS adopts more of a cartoony style, whereas the Wii U has more of an HD up kind of look. It looks a lot nicer on the Wii U, but being able to take the game out with you in the go is kind of a nice feature as well to have. And I believe there's going to be arena exclusives for 3DS ones, so games from the portable consoles will be 3DS arenas, and ones from home consoles will be on the Wii U version. So unfortunately that kind of means you're going to have to pick up both to get the full game, but I'm probably going to pick up both anyway. But I'm really interested to see how this game comes out. I mean, Super Smash Bros. Brawl was good enough, but this game just looks like it's I mean, there wasn't really much they could do to improve Brawl, but it looks like they've literally done it. They've added a few more characters, which would be nice to see how they mix characters like Mega Man, and it'll be interesting how they pan out as characters. Hopefully, the characters will, actually feel like they're part of the game, and maybe they'll have an online mode which will actually work properly, unfortunately. But the story mode hopefully will have as well, like the Subspace Emissary, and games like that will hopefully work. I'm really interested to see how this pans out. I'm super excited. That's my number 1 spot. If you guys have any other suggestions on videos I can do coming up soon, let me know. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Boop.